Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm bringing you a Photoshop specific tutorial as requested of Evo Visa. And in the last about 15 minutes, just by having a text object, which was just originally, all I started out with was this. And I made something else. Yeah, so I ended up with that. And basically, I'm going to walk you through the steps of kind of the elements involved here. So let's just start a new project. You're going to start out in, not in Finder, but in Photoshop by Command N. Wow, can't spell. Alright, and this is the ratio for my screen, just MacBook Pro 15-inch. And yeah. So I already have a, oh, do I have another? I have so many I can just throw in. I really like this one, so you know what, I'll just make a new one. Okay, so now in Photoshop, when you drag your text in, you'll see this box around any text you dragged in. All you have to do now is either resize it, and see, if you loosely resize it, you can do this. But if you hold shift, I can't move it. I can only go up and down and keep it in the same ratio, which is really nice. So I'm just going to keep it the way it is because it doesn't really matter. And you press enter to make those boxes go away. Another good idea to do is make your background completely white if you're making a desktop background, and put it on top of your file as with an overlay, and we'll get to that in about a minute, so that you can see the icons that are currently on your computer, so you don't have things that will just totally be cut off. And yeah, and then once you're finally done, you can just get rid of the screenshot. So here, after you add something new that's not from Photoshop, you will get this little icon next to your layer. The way to get rid of this, or what that means, is that it needs to re-rasterize it. Basically, that means blend the pixels to make it look better. So I'll get a brush out usually, and just click once. I'll come up with this, and I'll just press enter. And now it's just gone. Another thing to do is double click your background layer and press OK. So now I'm going to make a new layer, get my brush tool with, let's go with some blue, and just go behind it. Really easy step, kind of add some more stuff going on. But you can also do it with a glow, and we'll get to that right now. Alright, so I'm going to zoom in on this just to kind of make it more seeable. You don't have to squint at your screen. But I'm going to keep a little bit of the text there so you can see what it's doing. So I'm going to click on drop shadow, and the distance varies just kind of like literally the distance, and yeah, so I'll bring it down about to 20, spread it 5%, and size will make it more blurry, spread will basically catch up with the size blurriness. So make it 5 and make the blur just a tiny bit, because you don't want to be right on, doesn't look that realistic. So a tiny bit of blur is good enough. So you'll see this. So it's got a little bit behind it right now. Now we go to, well, what we can do is pattern overlay. There's this is a harder way to do it because you don't get such a wide variety of patterns this way. But if you have some, you can choose this, and instead of kind of making it like less transparent, you can just go to not screen but overlay, and it kind of does that. Screen kind of just like, I don't know, it's just lighter and it's not as good, and this kind of retains its original color. But I'm not going to use that now. Outer glow, it's basically you can carry out the same setting, except you don't really have the distance, because it wouldn't make sense if you had distance, like a distant glow. Alright, So now I'll show you the easier way to add a pattern than, you know, having it already preset in your Photoshop. There are graphic packs that really big YouTubers have out, and personally, actually, my favorite is Jedi GFX's. The textures in here, it's all really cool and awesome. And I don't know, you can just go through here, pick out some stuff. I use different GFX packs for different things. Like I'll use Tafazi's for textures mostly, but because, you know, you can just grab this. So I'll drag this one in here. I'll rotate it you can resize it by dragging on here, any part of the border. But if you want to rotate it, you can just click outside. Another thing shift is good for, if you hold shift, it locks in turns by 40, probably like 15 degrees probably. But it doesn't really matter about keeping the size on this. I will just drag that over, rasterize it, rasterize, whatever it is. Then I will command click on scope. Then I will press shift command I to invert the selection. And with the scratch metal layer selected, I will press delete. So now only the texture that was on top of my text is left. So now I will go to overlay, and there you are. So another way to make this look a lot better, a little more realistic if you're getting this into detail, is come back and kind of erase some of the inside. Actually, not that. Turn it to 50. Yeah, and so you'll do this kind of lightly, not to get rid of it blank. But yeah, so that's good enough. I'm going to try and keep this within the time frame, so what am I at? Fuck me. Alright, so this might end up being a part 2 kind of thing, but I'll get as much into as I can. So now I'm going to come here to, actually I don't use this one for that. I go to flues, and then flares. Okay. It doesn't really matter what actually color you use for the flare. I can make that blue very easily. I'll show you in the next tutorial though. But this is good enough for now. And it'll just demonstrate what I want to do. So you will get to this point, and you're going to say, oh wow, it's black, this is totally screwed, even if I put it back here, and it's a pain in the ass, you know, I can't just erase behind it the entire time, this sucks. What you can do, which is really nice, if you come over here to this area, click on normal, and you'll get this drop down menu, and just go down the screen, and there you go. It's just a really simple way. Yeah, but then you'll get into more complex screens and stuff, and you'll end up like here. Like you don't want that. Yeah, and they'll start to show up between other ones. So you just want to come here and, you know, like have a blurred eraser that's really big, so it'll gradually kind of get rid of it. That line, you don't want to have it such a harsh line. And yeah, actually I can make it up to 15 minutes, but no one wants to watch it. No one wants to watch a 15-minute video. So actually, something I forgot is like up here. Just kind of think of like everything that like, oh fuck, 50. Yeah. So you can put white, but also black usually works out the best for this stuff. And this is another thing I was talking about, or that I was talking about earlier, is you'll have the weird lines from the screen, and you just come back over here and smooth it down. And now you can, I don't know, come in here and make it less and less. Keep monitoring my time. Yeah. You can do that, then you can go back to your graphics packs and add different things, such as, I'll make this one quick, go to textures, yeah, just add that shit. Fuck it. Expand that just however big you want it to be, maybe a little over so it encompasses, and then enter overlay, but you don't want to have it over the text. Well, that looks kind of cool. You can have it like that, but that doesn't look too awesome either, so you can just have it like this, but that's just fucked. Alright, well, you can have it like that, you can do anything you really want. So yeah, this can look a lot better, but from time to time, this is probably just some basics people want to know. Another good thing to know for exporting is if you come up here to File, don't save as like with JPEG. Just go to Save for Web and Devices. Make sure it's set on PNG 24, and you will get this. And the maximum size for any YouTube background is, no matter what they say, it's not 256 or 156, whatever they say. It's one megabyte. You can't be at 1 megabyte. You have to be less than 1 megabyte. I've been up to 127 kilobytes or whatever, and I was fine. I just made a background recently for Evo, and oh, by the way, just press save and then save Evo, and that was literally on 126, just because it had flares and renders, and yeah. So I'm going to make part 2 right now, so be sure to just follow along with that one. Again, I just had to cut it short for time. So thank you for watching. Please watch part 2.